In the South China Sea, Chinese aggression has hit a new level. 2 Chinese ships colliding in a reckless chase to block a Philippine humanitarian mission. Manila says Beijing's dangerous maneuvers risk lives, defy international law, and escalate a maritime flashpoint already bristling with military tension. The Philippines Department of Foreign Affairs on August 12th said it was seriously concerned by the dangerous maneuvers of a vessel from the China Coast Guard and another from the People's Liberation Army Navy, after footage showed the 2 Chinese ships colliding during a tense South China Sea encounter the previous day. Video released by Manila shows a China Coast Guard vessel pursuing a Philippine patrol boat while spraying a water cannon before it swerves into a People's Liberation Army Navy ship cutting across.
Their actions not only posed a grave danger to Philippine personnel and vessels, but also resulted in the unfortunate collision between the 2 Chinese vessels.
The department further accused the Chinese side of unlawful interference with a routine humanitarian operation for Filipino fisherfolk. The Philippines Commodore J. Tariella said earlier on X that the China Coast Guard ship performed a risky maneuver from the Philippine Coast Guard vessel's starboard quarter, resulting in substantial damage to the CCG vessel's forecastle, rendering it unseaworthy. The incident is the latest in a series of confrontations between the Philippines and China in the South China Sea, most of which Beijing claims for itself despite losing a 2016 international arbitration ruling on the matter. China rejects that decision. After the collision, Tariella said the Philippine side immediately offered support, including assistance with man-overboard recovery and medical aid for any injured CCG crew members. An initial statement from the China Coast Guard on August 11th simply said it had taken necessary measures to drive away Philippine vessels. Spokesperson Gan Yu said that the operation was professional and standardized, as well as legal. Meanwhile, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian on August 11th did not mention the crash, while saying the Philippines has seriously infringed upon China's sovereignty and rights and interests and seriously harmed peace and stability at sea. Tariella said,
"The Philippine Coast Guard Haninich has consistently urged the Chinese government to respect the coal regs and to approach these matters with professionalism, especially considering their role in enforcing maritime laws. We have also emphasized that such reckless behavior at sea could ultimately lead to accidents."
Meanwhile, speaking at a news conference, the Philippine President, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., said the country's patrol vessels would continue to be present in the area to defend, as well as exercise Manila's sovereign rights over what it considers to be part of its territory. The Scarborough Shoal is a triangular chain of reefs and rocks which has been a flashpoint between the countries since China seized it from the Philippines in 2012. Earlier, Marcos had also warned that the Philippines risks confrontation with China over another issue, Taiwan, which China's rulers are preparing to annex as territory. With US backing of Taiwan, any attempt threatens to spiral into a broader conflict, and on a recent trip to India, Marcos said, "There is no way that the Philippines can stay out of it." In a separate incident, 2 China Coast Guard vessels were seen meandering in the waters off the Philippines' northernmost island last week, the Philippine Navy said. The 2 Chinese ships, CCG vessels 3301 and 3304, were spotted in waters near Mavulis Island in Batanes around 8 p.m. on August 7th, while BRP Emilio Jacinto, a Navy patrol vessel, was patrolling the area. This was the latest of China's recent maritime incursions in Philippine waters. Despite repeated radio challenges from the Philippine ship, the Chinese vessels refused to respond, the Navy's Northern Luzon Naval Command said in a statement. The CCG vessels only left around 11 p.m. following what the Navy described as the continued monitoring and assertive presence by the 62-metre BRP Emilio Jacinto. The Emilio Jacinto, is a ship much smaller than the 111-metre CCG vessel 3304 and the 98-metre CCG vessel 3301. The Navy's Northern Luzon Command condemned the unauthorised presence of the Chinese vessels. The continued conduct of sovereignty patrols in the northern maritime domain reflects our steadfast commitment to protect our sovereign rights and uphold maritime law, said Commodore Edward Ikem de Sagon, commander of the Northern Luzon Command. A video clip shared by the Navy shows one of its personnel radioing the Chinese vessel saying, "You are approaching the Philippines contiguous zone. You are advised to leave immediately." The incursion occurred well within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, waters the Philippines has jurisdiction and sovereign rights to. It also adds to a string of Chinese maritime provocations in recent weeks, with Beijing's forces becoming increasingly aggressive in waters within the Philippines' EEZ.